Hi, welcome to the team. My name is Carolina, and I am the role model manager for the Buka team, respite team, and on-call sitter team. I am here to answer any questions that you might have regarding orientation and in the future. I would much rather have you ask me what you think is a silly question rather than wander the streets trying to figure out what to do. And we're going to be going over a lot of information during this orientation. So I ask that you pause the video, grab a piece of paper and a pencil to jot down any notes that you might have, questions, so that we can go over your questions when we meet later on for our one-on-one. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Even though we are a franchise, the person who owns our office owns 5 offices across 3 different states. There's our office, which is the Cupertino, Sunnyvale, Palo Alto, San Mateo office. We service everything from San Jose up through San Francisco along the peninsula. We have an office in LA, San Diego, Seattle, and then our main office in Edina, Minnesota, which is a suburb of Minneapolis. We are really glad that you are here. A few more highlights about us. We're founded in 2001. We're the largest employer of nannies and sitters in the US. In addition to our main office being in Minnesota, our corporate office is in Minnesota as well. And there's over 190 college nannies, sitters, and tutors across the US. Building stronger families is one of our core values as well. We have a couple of different lines of service. The most common one for our office is Buka. Buka, or Backup Care Advantage, is a benefit that employers offer their employees so that when their regular childcare provider isn't available, we send them a sitter to their home. Examples of companies: Facebook, Salesforce, Adobe, banks, law offices, universities, and hospitals. And it's a benefit that is offered nationwide, so not just in the Bay Area or in California, but across the US. We also have the sitter service. So these are families that enrolled with us directly who want more than just the average neighborhood sitter, because we do reference checks, we do background screens, and we fingerprint all of our nannies. We also offer respite care to children who have special needs. This is designed to give their primary caregiver a break from their responsibilities, and it's a service that's provided or paid for by the county. We also have placement services. So these are families that come to us directly saying that they are looking for either a part-time or a full-time nanny, and we help find somebody for them. Our core values: can do, results matter, and leave it better. As a college nanny, you're helping build stronger families by going above and beyond, always engaging with the children, incorporating education and learning whenever possible, following care instructions, and always being a role model to the children. Family expectations of you: to be on time every time, be professional, communicate clearly and promptly with the families, provide loving care for their children, be creative and clean up after yourself. And with today's day and age, with with cameras being so easy to purchase and install, many families have them. And I like to say, get caught doing something good. So how do you get staffed? You can either use the app, the My Sitters app, or you can go online at collegenannies.com and use the resource center. You would use the same password and username for both the app and to go online. We ask that you set your schedule out as far as you're able to commit, at the very least 60 days or 2 months. You want to keep your schedule updated on a regular basis. So what this means, we are very flexible in terms of what your availability is. And so in return, we ask that you make sure that if there's a day that you are not able to work and you're not already scheduled with the family, that you remove your availability. You can also be scheduled up to 3 hours before the start of a shift. This is really important to note. So what this means, if, let's say, for example, on Thursday night, you see that you're not scheduled for Friday and you decide that you don't want to work, that's perfectly fine. But it is your responsibility to remove your availability so that you're not booked late at night or early the next morning. So to log into the My Sitters app, you'll log in at the bottom where it says current users. When you first open the app, you'll notice down at the bottom, there's your assignments tab, the calendar tab, and timesheets as well. We're going to go to the calendar tab right now to learn how to enter availability. So when you tap on the calendar, this screen will appear. Up at the top, you're going to tap on the plus sign and you'll pick your start date. So whenever you want to start working, and you want to pick an end date. The reason why you want to pick an end date is because if you were to leave a blank, then it will repeat the same schedule that you've entered for a whole calendar year. You will then choose the days that you are available. In this example, I'm available Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You'll adjust your start and end time and then hit save. If you need to remove availability for any reason, you want to tap the minus sign at the top of the screen. This message will pop up asking if you want to clear all of your availability or just one day. So you'll pick whichever it is that you want to do. So to be clear, once you've been staffed for a job, it's yours. The children depend on you, parents depend on you, and we depend on you as well. In addition to automatically being scheduled based on your availability, the areas that you're willing to travel to, and your experience working with different age groups, we also send out text and email blasts. An example of a text blast is tomorrow, shift in Westside from 1 to 5 for 2-year-old. Reply with full name and Westside if interested. If it's a general blast like this, you only need to reply if you're available. If you're available and you want to take the shift, please double check the location, the times, and the age group of the children that you're would be caring for as well. If you're not available, that's perfectly fine. You can ignore the text blast. If we send you a text message that's directed to you where it says, "Hi, Betty, can you work on Monday with the Smith family from 1 to 5? We ask that you reply either way. Once you start working a bit more, you may get requested by name from a family. So, general text blasts, only need to reply if you're available. directed to you, reply either way. Preparing for care. You want to accept the shift as soon as possible or confirm the shift as soon as possible in the app. Review the family details. If you're working a buka shift, you can text the family. If it's a private on-call sitter shift or a respite shift, you have to call the family. A text or call to the family the same day that you confirm or within 24 hours is required. I'll be sending you an email with templates that for texting that you can copy and paste into the notes section of your phone. And then that way, when it's time for you to text a family, all you have to do is copy it into a text message, and then you don't need to worry about thinking up anything creative to write to the family. If you don't reach a family either by phone or by text message, you should always plan on working. Some tips regarding texting. You always want to greet the family, introduce yourself, make sure that you use please and thank you, use capital letters and punctuation, proofread for spelling and grammar, avoid abbreviation and slang, communicate understanding, respond in a timely manner. Now, of course, if you're in the middle of caring for the child, we don't expect you to drop everything that you're doing so that you can go and reply to a text. And avoid texting too early or too late as well. So, as I mentioned before, when you first open the app, the first screen that's going to appear is your assignments tab. At the very top is your next assignment. Down below that are any unconfirmed assignments. So we're going to tap on this one that is unconfirmed. For the Smith family, a map will appear, the date of care, the hours, and the address will appear as well, along with general information about the child that you'll be caring for. You want to tap the confirm button, and once you do, any special notes will appear as well. In this case, the family gave you instructions on where to park and which door to use, and information regarding snacks as well. You'll notice that down here in the bottom right-hand corner is a decline button. We ask that you pretend that this button doesn't exist. That's not to say that you're not allowed to decline shifts, but before you hit the decline button, you must let us know why you're declining a shift. Like I said before, we've scheduled you based on your availability, your experience, and the areas that you're willing to travel to. When you hit that decline button, it sends a message to me, to our call center, and to the family. So it's really important that you don't decline shifts by hitting the decline button, but rather you let us know first what's going on. In a little bit, I'll be showing you the contact information for the call center and for myself for future reference as well. As a reminder, you are a professional. Flip-flops, ripped pants, sweats pants, short shorts, low-cut tops are not allowed. You want to wear or bring weather-appropriate clothing, and you want to make sure that you dress appropriately to get involved and engaged with the children. During care, lack of engagement and dirty dishes are a family's #1 complaints. So you want to make sure that you get down and play blocks or Legos with the kiddos. You want to make sure that you wash any of the dishes that you used during care. If you fed the child a snack or fed the child lunch or dinner, you want to make sure that you wash those dishes. You're not expected to wash the family's dishes if they have a sink full of dirty dishes, but you do need to wash whatever you used during care. You want to come prepared with ideas for fun. No screen time across the board for both you and for the children. A few notes on that. If you come into the family's home and the child is already watching TV or is on their iPad, you just want to check in with the family to find out if there are any restrictions or time limitations, because I know that if you were to ask my 4-year-old if he had any restrictions or limitations, he'd say no, that he's allowed to watch YouTube Kids and Disney Plus all day, every day. So it's a good idea to check in with the parents before they either leave to go to work or go to their home office to start their day at work. Access only to your cell phone. So checking it periodically to see if the family wants to check in is totally fine, but having it out the whole time is not a good idea. You want to clean up as you go and enlist the children's help. Make it a fun game out of cleaning up. And always remember, leave it better as one of our core values. What should you leave behind? Happy children, a tidy home, your activities cleaned up, a sweet goodbye to the children, reminding them of an activity that you guys did, a thank you to the parents and asking them to complete this survey that they will receive. We send all families surveys about care, and a completed SARE report. So you can just carry around with you a small notepad and you can write down what the children ate, if they slept, and something fun that you guys did during the day, just so that the parents have an idea of what you guys did while they were working. This is especially helpful if you're caring for a young child who is on a sleep or feeding schedule, so the parents know where you left off, or if the baby skipped any meals or naps. And it's helpful for older children because, as you can probably remember, when you ask a school ager, "What'd you do at school today?" many times the answer is, "I don't know, nothing." This way, the parents can see from you what you guys did during the day. If you want to work with the family again, let college nannies and the family know. You can let the family know when you're normally free. The parents have their own version of the app, so they can book you. If a family wants to book you independently from college nannies, it's not a good idea, and you need to let me know right away. When you work through us, you're protected. We have workers' comp insurance, we have liability insurance, we pay payroll taxes, all of those things. So if anything were to happen to you or to the child, you would be protected. Getting paid. So you want to enter your timesheets immediately after your assignment. Log the true hours that you worked in the MySitter app and note any variances. Always give a thorough description of the day in the work report. If you work a BUCA shift and your hours are different than what you were originally scheduled, then you need to get a variance form signed, which we'll go over in the next slide. And we are paid every other Friday via direct deposit. This is an example of a BUCA variance form. I'll be emailing this to you. You can either print some copies out and have them handy, or if you can't print it out, that's fine. I just need you to write down all the information that's on here on a piece of paper. I need the date of care, the case number, and most oftentimes it is the family asks you to stay later. So you would put your, under end time, you'd put the schedule time, for example, 5 o'clock. Family didn't come home until 5:30. Um, the releaser is the parent who said that it's okay for you to go home. They'll print their name, they'll sign, you print your name and you sign, and you'll snap a picture of it and you'll email it to cupertinoca@collegenannies.com. All timesheets clear out the week before, all timesheets clear out Monday morning for the previous week. This is also another reason why it's so important for you to be able to enter your timesheets immediately after your shift. You'll see here that the timesheet that's due is for the Janet Jackson family. So let's go ahead and tap on that. When you do, it will bring up the family's name, the address, the child's name, and the dates, and it pre-fills in the hours that you were scheduled to work. If you worked longer or shorter, you want to make sure that you adjust those hours, and you want to enter a recap. An example of a recap. Today we went to the park and played on the swings and slide for an hour. Then we walked around the neighborhood and counted all the trees. We came home, had lunch. Billy took a nap from 1 to 3. When he woke up, we played Legos and read books for the rest of the afternoon. It doesn't have to be super detailed, but it needs to be more than just he ate, we played, we read books. You'll then submit it, hit the submit button at the bottom of the timesheet as well. We understand that emergencies happen. If you are not able to make it to your shift, you need to let us know as soon as possible. Our call center is available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., and they're available on weekends. If you aren't able to make it to a shift, you'll either call the call center or you can email them at Cupertino.ca. My office hours are limited. I'm only in the office Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. I'm off on weekends and all major holidays as well. If you need to cancel a shift, we may ask you for documentation. So for example, if you're sick, we're going to ask you for a doctor's note to excuse you from your shift so that we can go back to the family in good faith and say, this nanny was really sick. It's not because they just didn't feel like working today. We do have a drug and alcohol testing policy, a safe driving agreement. So we ask that you follow all the rules of the road. Never leave a child unsupervised outdoors, in a park, or even in their own backyard. Never leave a child unsupervised in a high chair, on a changing table, or in a swing. And all infants should be put to sleep on their back to help provide sudden infant death syndrome as well. We have a strike policy or disciplinary action policy. Examples of why a nanny might get a strike: not making their intro call or text to the family, entering incorrect availability repeatedly, and or missing multiple timesheets. In the next slide, I'm going to go over some BUCA rules. If the BUCA rules are not followed, it can result in being banned from BUCA and or termination of employment from college nannies. And communication with myself and the call center is really important. We ask that you reply to all communication, text, phone calls, emails in a timely manner. So, care differences. With BUCA, bodies of water are not allowed, so no swimming, no bathing children, no kiddie pools. With sitter and with respite, it's okay as long as you have the parent's permission. With BUCA, you are not allowed to drive children. With sitter and with respite, you are allowed to drive children as long as you have the parent's permission. With BUCA and with respite, you are not allowed to dispense medication. With sitter, it's okay as long as you have the parent's permission. Across the board, best not to open the front door unless the parents have said they're expecting a package that needs a signature, or a neighbor is going to come drop off a casserole dish, for example. Screen time across the board, never without a plan or without permission. With BUCA, you should bring your own food, never eat the family's food. With sitter and with respite, you should bring your own food, but you can eat the family's food if offered. With BUCA, any differences in the times that you work need to be signed by the parent. With sitter, you don't need to have any signatures. Just make sure that you make note of it in your timesheet. And with respite, you don't need to have anything signed. But if you're asked to care for a sibling, then you want to make note of the times that you cared for the additional child. With respite, you are only allowed to care for the respite child and their sibling. No friends, no neighbors, or other extended family that do not live in the home. As a reminder, you are a professional. We strongly encourage that you set all social media settings to private as often as possible. Very many times parents will want to do a Google search of the person who's coming to their home. If you can't set your social media settings to private for whatever reason, that's fine, but just be mindful of what you post, what you share, what you tweet, what you like. Remember that you are a role model to the children that you work with, and your personal appearance and your social media footprint is a part of your image today and in the future. So, to review, you want to confirm your assignment and review the details as soon as possible. Make your professional call or your text to the family as soon as you confirm, or at the very latest 24 hours after confirming your shift. Engage with the children during your assignment. Enter your timesheet and your work report as soon as possible. And be sure to keep your schedule updated on a regular basis as well. We have high expectations of our nannies and sitters because our families have high expectations of us. We've hired you because we know that you'll be an excellent representative of our core values. So please be engaging, creative, responsible, and professional. So thank you for taking the time to go over this orientation. Again, I will be scheduling one-on-one time for us to go over the orientation in terms of any questions that you might have, that either about the orientation or anything else about working with college nannies and sitters. So I look forward to meeting you. Thanks. Bye-bye.